Hello and welcome to our 48th session, and in this session we are going to discuss about two terms that we use in gaming very regularly. One is the singleton and another is the coroutine. Let's talk about two of the most important tools you are ever going to use in Unity game building. We are going to cover how to create that one boss to run your whole game and how to build the perfect countdown clock. Let's get right into it. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been deep in a project and just felt like it's all running into pure chaos? You know the feeling. You have got objects everywhere, scripts are firing off randomly. It's a place every single developer has been. The secret is learning how to manage the chaos. The trick is to start thinking of your game less like a bunch of code and more like a virtual movie set. And on that set, you need to be the director. And what does every good movie set need? It needs one director, one person in charge calling the shots. That brings us to our first amazing tool, the singleton. Think of this as the ultimate boss, the ultimate source of control in your game. The whole idea behind it is incredibly simple. You can boil it all down to this one rule. There can be only one. That's it. That's the foundation of the entire powerful pattern. And this isn't weird abstract programming idea. You see it in real life all the time. Your college has one principal. Your home has one electricity meter and you have got one remote control for your TV. I mean, can you imagine the chaos if you had three remotes all fighting to change the channel at the same time? That's what we are trying to avoid. So if we put that into more technical terms, a singleton is what's called a design pattern. Its whole job is to make absolutely sure that only one instance of a particular component ever exists in your game. And this is the crucial part. It gives every other script a single easy way to find it and talk to it. And that's exactly why this pattern is perfect for all those big central managers. You know, your game manager that tracks if you have won or lost. Your audio manager that every explosion and footsteps needs to talk to. You only want one of these things. One single source of truth. Now this pattern is so common and so useful in Unity. It kind of makes you wonder, right? When did the team at Unity invent this brilliant singleton idea? Well, here's the twist. They didn't. This isn't some special Unity only feature. It actually is something much older and much more fundamental to programming itself. See, the singleton is a classic software design pattern. It's an idea that's been around since the very early days of C#. So when Unity started getting popular, smart developers just brought this existing powerful pattern with them because it was a perfect tool for managing a game. And today, it's still a fundamental part of building clean, organized project. Okay, so we have got our one boss to manage what happens in the game. But what about when things happen? Controlling time is the other half of the battle against the chaos. And for that, we use something called an IEnumerator, which lets us run things called coroutines. This is how we make things happen step by step instead of all at once. Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around this is with a simple cooking analogy. You don't just dump all your ingredients into a cold pan and call it a meal, right? No. First, you heat the pan and you wait. Then you add the oil and you wait. Then you fry the ingredients and you wait. That wait is the absolute magic of an enumerator. In your code, that wait comes from a special command, yield return. All that's doing is telling Unity, hey, pause the whole operation right here. Go do other stuff and then come back and resume from the exact spot later. It's the key of making things happen over a period of time. And once you get that simple idea, you start seeing possibilities everywhere. You can use it to span a new enemy every 3 seconds. You can build that classic countdown timer. You can make UI elements slide onto the screen smoothly instead of just popping in. It's the secret of controlling the rhythm and flow of your game. So we have two incredibly powerful tools here, but it is super important to know that they have two very different jobs. Let's do a quick side-by-side check to make it totally clear. It really just boils down to this. A singleton pattern is there to solve the problem of only one of these things should ever exist. It's all about authority and access. On the other hand, an enumerator used in a coroutine solves the problem of I need to do this slowly over time. It's all about timing and sequence. But here's the best part. Even though they solve different problems, they are a fantastic team. Every Singleton game manager is the perfect place to start a coroutine. So the boss, the game manager, can give an order like start spawning enemies, and the coroutine handles the timing, making one appear after every 5 seconds. Okay, enough theory. How do you start actually putting these things to work in your own project? Let's talk about your next step. So your first Singleton, please don't overthink it. Let's start with one of the classic. Make a game manager to control the overall game state, a score manager to keep track of points, or a UI manager to control all your menus. Just pick one central system and make it the boss. And for your first coroutine, just think about anything in your game that means delay or a pass. You could just use it to automatically spawn some targets after the game begins, create a little breathing room between waves of enemies, or of course, build that classic 3, 2, 1, go. So there you have it, the director and the stopwatch, two of the most powerful, and you have for bringing order to your game's chaos. And that really just leaves with one question: what one boss is your next great game going to need? So in our game, we are going to implement the Singleton and Coroutine in this session. As usual, let us start by launching Unity Hub. Now coming to the project, we were working on this UA_prototype1 project in our previous session. You can, and if you doesn't have these files, don't worry, you can come into new project. In the new project template, select SRP Universal 3D, and in the project title, call this as UI_prototype 2, and in Unity project, I am going to create a new project. As the project is getting loaded, come into YouTube video page or in the e-learning page, and if in the description, if you click on more, you are provided with a Patreon link here. Click on this Patreon link. This will bring you to the Junior Programmer Series Patreon page. Scroll down and you are provided with this 48 list Coroutine IEnumerator Unity package file. So click on this to download it. If required, Satvik_layout.wlt layout file, click and download it. Now once Unity is launched, come into the project panel, select the readme file, come into the inspector and click on remove readme assets, and in the confirmation window, click on proceed. Now we don't need this input system_actions, right click and choose delete, and in the confirmation window, click on delete. Now if your screen layout doesn't match the layout that you are seeing here, you can come to the top right end and in the layout panel choose Satvik. If Satvik layout is not available, come to load layout from file, and in the download folder, select Satvik_layout.wlt file and double click to open this. Now your screen layout and the layout you are seeing in this lesson will be the same. Now coming into the project window, select asset, right click and choose import package, custom package. Select the package file that you downloaded just now and click on open. In the import Unity package dialog box, see that all is selected and click on the import button. Come into the scenes, open it and double click UI_prototype to open it. Come to the hierarchy panel, select the background, double click with Alt leftmost turn around, enable 2D. Now coming into the project panel, we doesn't need this sample scene, right click and choose delete, and in the confirmation window, click on delete. Now let us first create our Singleton script. We will have one master control to controls of our game. So for that purpose, I will come into the hierarchy panel, right click and I will create an empty, and I am going to call this as GameManager. Now come back to the project panel and I will open the scripts folder, right click and I am going to create a new mono behavior script, and I am going to call this as GameManager and press enter. Allow the script to compile. See that the name public class GameManager here and the script name is the same. Then I will drag this script and attach it to the GameManager game object so that you can see the script attached here. I will select GameManager and double click to open it in Visual Studio Code. To trust the author, click on yes, I trust the author. We are first going to convert this GameManager script into a Singleton instance, and the way we are going to do is come into the top open bracket, press enter, and we are going to declare this public, and the keyword used to convert this script into a Singleton script is static. I will call the type of this variable GameManager, the same name of my script. I am going to call this as instance. This instance, I have to add some conditions to it. So in open close flower bracket, the first condition here is get. When I add get, this script can be accessed externally and the values can be read. I will press space and set this as private set and end it with semicolon. The values that we declare in this GameManager are private and it cannot be modified by external script. In all these Singleton type scripts, I have to first attach this instance to this current file. How are we going to do is, I am going to now call this private void awake. Awake is the state when the game is just getting loaded. Inside the awake code block, now I am going to set the value of this instance to be equal to this and end it with semicolon. However, to avoid any bugs above this instance, this inside this awake code block, I will press enter and I will put an if statement, and the condition I am going to test is, the first condition is this instance should not be equal to null, that is it should not be empty, and the second condition I will add two ampersand sign, and if the instance is not equal to this, then I will press enter and add open close flower bracket, and inside this flower bracket now I am going to destroy this game object, add open close bracket and semicolon, and inside this bracket call my game object, and after destroying it I will return and end it with semicolon. So this is a standard way of declaring a Singleton script. I will come into file and I am going to save this. And now inside this Singleton script, I am going to declare my coroutine. That is the second concept that we had discussed earlier. And to declare this coroutine, after this end bracket of awake, I will press enter twice and I am now going to call IEnumerator. When I click on IEnumerator, you can immediately see automatically in the first line using system collections line has been added. If by chance this line has not been added, then this IEnumerator, so if you see a red line, come to line number 1 and add using system.collection. And this IEnumerator, I am going to call this span objects, because this is going to now span the object randomly. Open close bracket, there are no parameters for this. Press enter and add open close flower bracket. And now inside this flower bracket, every IEnumerator function or coroutine function should follow with the keyword yield. So if I doesn't write it, you see this name as red. So I will call yield, it should return. And only after I add yield and return, you can see the red line is gone. I am going to declare a new wait for second. So here I have to specify how much time it has to wait. In open close bracket, I will end it with semicolon. Instead of declaring the value directly, I will now come on the top. After this public static game manager, I will press enter and I will declare another public integer, and I am going to call this as span rate, and I will set its value to be equal to 2 and end it with semicolon. I will come inside this wait for second and I will set its value to span rate. I have to next create a list of my game objects, because now to span we doesn't have one game object, we have 3 good and 2 bad, so we have multiple objects. In our previous session we declared this multiple object using an array. So if I come to the after this span rate, I will press enter. The previous session we had used this type of variable and we added open close square bracket. This we call it as an array. But this time we are not going to use an array, we are going to use a list. To declare a list, I will call the keyword list and then I have to add lesser and greater than sign. and inside this, what type of list it is I have to declare. This is a game object list. So the type of this is game object. This list contains game object. I am going to add a space and I am going to name this as targets and end it with semicolon. So I will come into my IEnumerator span object, and after this yield return, I will press enter and I will call for an variable integer and I will call it as index, and this will be equal to a random dot range, open close bracket, end it with semicolon. The range will start from 0, comma, and the maximum number of index values is the number of items in this list. So I will call target period. In array we use length. If it is a list, I cannot use length. I am going to use the keyword count. Remember, for array we use targets.length, but since it is a list, I am calling it as target.count. So now this is going to randomly select one of the number between 0 and the number of items in my target list. I press enter and I will call my instantiate function, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon, and inside this instantiate I am going to instantiate what? The targets, and in open close square bracket, inside this I will call my index number. And if you remember, in our previous session we had put this entire code in a for loop. Now here also I want this to loop continuously, infinitely it should keep spanning. After this open flower bracket, I will press enter and I am going to now use a different kind of loop which is called as while. And I will add open close bracket, and inside this bracket, if I just write true, whatever is written next will be continuously executed indefinitely. So after this true, I will press enter, add open close flower bracket, and I will open this flower bracket, and now I will select all these 3 lines here, cut it and put it inside this code block. I will press tab and align it correctly. Okay, so I have aligned it. When this span object is called, then automatically the instantiation of my target goes on indefinitely, because I have put the condition while is equal to true. I will come into the start now, and I am going to now call my start coroutine function. In open close bracket, I will end it with semicolon. I am now going to call my span object IEnumerator function, add open close bracket. Now if I save this, come back to Unity, allow the script to compile. Now coming into the game manager, we have created the list, but in the list there are no items at all. So I will open the targets here, and in the list I will click plus, and I will come into my project folder, my prefab, and I will drag these items one by one and add it. I will add bad 1 as element 0. I will click again plus, and I will add bad 2 as element 1. I will again press plus, I will add good 1 as element 2, plus I will add good 2 as element 3. I will again click plus, I will add good 3 as element 4. So 0 to 4 I have 5 elements, and the span rate is set to 2. And now if I go to file and save it, now if I execute the game and if I check it, see after 2 seconds, you can see the object getting spanned automatically. See, it keeps on spanning. Because we have used while loop, it keeps on spanning till I stop the game. So you have successfully understood in this session how to use this coroutine and singleton. Now I will stop the playback. In our next session, we have to click on this object to destroy them, and this part we are going to do it in our next session.